Hello, beloved. Hello, people. You who like to watch on our channel, we greet you and we welcome you for this evening session. Our presentation today is about how to get rid of overthinking. Yeah, it's been confirmed with the by the psychologists and the physiotherapists, those who psychotherapists, those who learn about the living, how people live and how they behave and how they change a sort of problems of mind setting. Now, you can ask yourself, how do I know that I overthink or I have this problem of overthinking? How do I know that? The most time when you feel always that you are thinking negative things, you are an overthinker. It starts slowly and it gets to a worse moment where you cannot control yourself. And the moment you feel again that you always ask yourself the question of if not, or if I would, if not, if it was not, those questions are the questions of doubt and always gives you to think. You found yourself, maybe you did a mistake, then you ask yourself, if I was not in that position, I was not going to do that mistake. That one gives you overthinking. A mistake is done, finish, clear, you leave it, you go on. Okay, let's go inside the topic. I was just doing an introduction. How do we get rid of overthinking? These people, whether they beat themselves up over and over mistake they made yesterday, or fret about how they are going to succeed tomorrow, overthinkers are plagued by distressing thought. Always by the distorting, the distressing thoughts, and their inability to get out of their own heads leaves them in the state of constant anguish. While everyone overthinks things once in a while, some people just can't even seem to quiet the constant barrage of thoughts. Just can ever seem to quiet the constant ballad and thought. Their inner monologue includes two destructive thought patterns, laminating and worrying. You see? Let's go to the next slide. Next slide says, laminating involves rehearsing the past. As I introduced you, I shouldn't have spoken up in the meeting today. Everyone looked at me like I was an idiot. I could have stuck it out at my old job. I would be happier if I would have just stayed there. You see? My parents always said I wouldn't amount to anything, and they were right. You see? These things, all these things. Okay, next slide says, worrying involves negative, often catastrophic predictions about the future. Then you ask yourself, you say to yourself, I'm going to embarrass myself tomorrow when I give that presentation. My hands will shake, my face will turn red, and everyone will see that I'm incompetent. Then I will never get promoted. It doesn't matter what I do. it's not going to happen. My spouse is going to find someone better than I am. I'm going to end up divorced and alone. You see, all those negative in the future cause you to overthink. Next slide says, overthinkers don't just use words to contemplate their lives. Sometimes they conjure up images too. They may envision their car going off the road and replay a distressing event in their mind like a movie. Either way, their tendency to overthink. Overthinking holds them back from doing something productive. There is another book that I've read says that they cannot even take a decision because they overthink. So living with someone who is overthinking, you have a big job, endless job. You have to decide for them. You have to do almost everything for them because overthinking takes their mind and their body too. How to get rid of overthinking? We are continuing with this next slide. The dangers of overthinking. Thinking too much about things is not just a nuisance. It can take a serious toll on your well-being. As a research finds that dwelling on your shortcomings, mistakes, and problems increases your risk of mental health problem. And as your mental health declines, your tendency to ruminate increase, leading to a vicious cycle that is hard to break. Hey, overthinking. Next slide says, there's another study also shows that overthinking leads to serious emotional distress. To escape that distress, may overthinkers resort to unhealthy coping strategies such as alcohol or food. If you are an overthinker, you likely already know you can't sleep when your mind won't shut off. That study also confirmed this finding that ruminating and worry lead to fewer hours of sleep and poor sleep quality. You know yourself when you don't sleep, say a whole week you don't sleep, you are an overthinker. Next slide, how then to stop overthinking? Now we get here. Be careful and listen carefully. Putting an end to rehearsing, second guessing, and rehearsing, second guessing, catastrophic predictions is easier said than done. But with consistent practice, you can limit your negative thinking patterns. Notice this when you are thinking too much. Awareness is the first step in putting an end to overthinking. Start paying attention to the way you think. When you notice yourself replaying events in your mind over and over, or worrying about things you can't control, acknowledge that your thoughts are not productive. Keep the focus on active problem solving. Dwell on your problems is not helping, but looking for a solution is what can help you. Ask yourself what steps you can take to learn from a mistake or avoid a future problem. Instead of asking why something happened, ask yourself what you can do about it. Schedule time for reflection. Stewing on problems for a long period of time is not productive, but brief reflection can be helpful. Thinking about how you could do things differently or recognizing potential pitfalls to a plan, for example, can help you to do better in the future. Incorporate 20 minutes of thinking time into your daily schedule. During this time, let yourself worry, laminate, or mull over whatever you want. Then, when the time is up, move on to something more productive. When you notice yourself something more productive, when you notice yourself overthinking things outside of your schedule time, then remind yourself that you will think about it later. You see, these are the techniques. Practice mindfulness. It's impossible to rehearse yesterday or worry about tomorrow. When you're living in the present, commit to becoming more aware of here and now. Mindfulness takes practice like any other skill, but over time, it can decrease overthinking. You get what I'm saying? Now, number 6, change the channel. Telling yourself to stop thinking about things can backfire. The more you try to avoid the thought from entering your brain, the more likely it is to keep popping up. Busying yourself with an activity is the best way to change the channel. Exercise, engage in a conversation on a completely different subject, or get working on a project that will distract your mind from a barrage of the negative thought. That is an end of our This is the end of our presentation. May you make it worthy. Make it happen. Don't overthink.